Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a very special piece of Australian numismatic history, the 1967 Australia 20-cent coin in very fine condition. This fascinating coin has captured the hearts of collectors around the world, and in this video, we'll explore its story, what makes it unique, why demand is so strong, what it's worth today in US dollars, and some helpful tips if you're thinking about adding one to your collection. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. The 1967 Australian 20-cent coin represents a milestone in Australian currency. Released during a time when decimal currency was still relatively new in the country, having been introduced only a few years earlier in 1966, this particular coin has become a cherished piece of history. Unlike many common coins from that era, the 1967 and 20 cent stands out because it was produced in very limited numbers compared to later mintages. When we talk about a coin being in very fine condition, we're describing a piece that has clearly been circulated but still retains far more detail and appeal than average worn coins. In a very fine condition, 1967 Australian 20 cent, the details on the platypus, Australia's iconic aquatic mammal, featured on the reverse remain distinct. The lettering is clear, and the overall surface shows light wear rather than heavy scratching or damage. These characteristics make very fine examples much more attractive to collectors than common heavily worn pieces. The design and composition of the 1967 20-cent coin reflect Australia's culture and craftsmanship. On the obverse, you'll find the effigy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, which graced all Australian coins of the time. The reverse showcases the platypus gracefully swimming, a design that instantly evokes the unique wildlife of Australia. This imagery has made the 20-cent coin one of the most iconic and beloved designs in Australian numismatics. In terms of physical makeup, the coin is made from cupronickel, an alloy known for its durability and resistance to corrosion. This composition helped these coins withstand decades of circulation, which is one reason why many surviving examples still look great even after years of use. The combination of thoughtful design and sturdy composition contributes to the coin's enduring appeal. Despite not being the rarest of all Australian coins, the 1967 Australian 20 cent has become highly sought after by collectors. Demand for this coin stems from several factors. First, its age makes it a meaningful piece for people who collect coins from the early years of Australia's decimal system. Second, the platypus design is universally beloved, making it desirable beyond just Australian numismatists. And third, well-preserved examples, especially those in very fine or better condition, are much harder to find today than they were 50 years ago. Collectors appreciate coins that tell a story, and the 1967 Australian 20 cent certainly does. Many consider it a gateway coin, something reasonably priced but historically significant, which inspires people to explore deeper into coin collecting. This broad appeal keeps demand steady and often increases it over time as more people discover and appreciate this classic piece. So, what is a 1967 Australian 20 cent coin worth in today's market? The exact value can vary based on condition, eye appeal, and current collector interest, but when we focus on very fine examples specifically, the figures become clearer. In the current market, a 1967 Australian 20 cent coin in very fine condition typically ranges from roughly $1.20, $0 to $1.40 thousand dollars for most sales. Factors that influence this range include how well the design details are preserved, whether there are any surface marks, and the overall presentation of the coin. Coins that are especially attractive for their patina and minimal wear can even exceed that typical range in certain sales or auctions. It's always important to remember that coin prices fluctuate with collector interest and overall market trends, but historically, this coin has shown solid, steady value, making it both a sentimental favorite and a smart addition to a collection. If you're considering adding a 1967 Australian 20 cent coin to your collection, there are a few tips to help you make the most informed choice. First, take the time to assess the condition carefully. A coin may look good in photos, but close inspection of details like the platypus's bill and fur, the lettering, and the overall surface will tell you a lot about its grade. Next, always buy from reputable dealers or trusted auction platforms. This helps ensure you're getting an authentic coin that's graded accurately. Ask questions, request additional photos if needed, and don't hesitate to compare similar listings to understand what a fair price looks like. Finally, think long-term. Coins are both history and investment, and the joy of holding a piece like this in your hand often goes beyond its monetary value. Whether you're new to collecting or have been at it for years, this coin can serve as a cornerstone of your collection. In summary, the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is much more than just an old coin. It's a symbol of Australian monetary history, a beautiful piece of design, and a beloved collectible that continues to captivate enthusiasts around the world. With steady market value, strong collector demand, and timeless appeal, this coin is truly a winner for anyone interested in numismatics. Next up, today we are talking about a beautiful and much-loved modern coin, the Australia 20-cent coin from 1986, especially in very fine condition, and how collectors look at its history, quality, demand, and today's market value in dollars. If you are new to coin collecting, or even if you already have a small collection at home, this is a very positive and encouraging example of how an everyday circulating coin can still hold real collector interest. Let us start with the history of the 1986 Australian 20-cent coin. The 20-cent coin is part of Australia's decimal currency system, and coins like this were produced by the official mint of the country, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. By 1986, the 20-cent design was already well established and very popular in daily use. This year does not belong to the very first issues of the denomination, but it represents a mature period of Australian coinage, when minting quality was stable and designs were clearly recognized all over the country. On the front side of the coin, we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by the sculptor Raphael Makhlouf. This elegant portrait was used on Australian coins during the 1980 ES and is appreciated by collectors because it reflects a very recognizable era of Commonwealth coin design. A 1986 20-cent coin in very fine condition is a circulated coin, but it still shows strong and attractive detail. The main design elements, such as the Queen's portrait, the hair detail, the lettering around the rim, and the platypus shape, remain clear and easy to see. Light wear is present on the highest points, but the coin still looks sharp and pleasing. For many collectors, very fine is a wonderful balance between affordability and visual quality, because you can still enjoy the design without paying the much higher price that comes with uncirculated or mint-state examples. When you hold a very fine 1986 20-cent coin in your hand, you are holding a real piece of everyday Australian history. It is a coin that passed through odd shops, markets, and wallets, and that real-world story adds positive character to the piece. The Australian 20-cent coin has a round shape and a reeded edge, which helps both with handling and with quick identification in daily use. The diameter is noticeably larger than many other small-value coins, giving the platypus design plenty of space to stand out clearly. In terms of composition, the 1986 20-cent coin is made from a copper-nickel alloy. This metal combination is strong, durable, and resistant to heavy wear, which is one reason why many coins from the 1980s still survive today in attractive condition. The copper-nickel blend also gives the coin its clean, silver-colored appearance, which remains appealing even after years of circulation when the coin is properly stored. It is important to understand something very positive about modern coin collecting. Not every valuable coin has to be extremely rare or centuries old. Many collectors build complete date sets, and for these collectors, every single year matters. The 1986 issue plays its role in completing a full run of Australian 20-cent coins. Demand comes especially from beginner and intermediate collectors who want affordable, genuine government-issued coins with strong national designs. The platypus reverse, in particular, keeps interest high because it is instantly recognizable and deeply connected with Australian identity. Collectors also look for clean, problem-free coins. A very fine example with no major scratches, no corrosion, and no heavy damage is far more desirable than a badly worn piece. That is why condition, even in circulated grades, still plays an important role in overall demand. In today's market, a 1,986 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is usually valued in the range of approximately 1,040,000 to 160,000 Australian dollars, depending on eye appeal, surface quality, and where it is sold. Coins with brighter surfaces, better detail, and no obvious marks often achieve the higher end of this range, especially when offered by established coin dealers or at trusted online marketplaces. It is important to stay positive and realistic here. While this coin is not considered a major rarity, its value is still higher than its face value when sold specifically to collectors. More importantly, it is a stable and easy coin to trade, which makes it a very friendly and welcoming entry point for people who are building their first serious collections. Now let me share some simple and encouraging tips for collectors who are interested in the 1,986 20-cent coin. Always start by checking the coin carefully under good light. Look at the queen's portrait and the platypus and make sure the main details are still visible and not completely flat. Avoid coins that show green corrosion, heavy scratches, or deep edge damage, because these problems reduce long-term value. Zero your coins in clean holders, flips, or albums made specifically for coins. Even a very fine coin can stay attractive for many years if it is protected from moisture and rough handling. Try not to clean your coins because cleaning almost always reduces collector value, even when the intention is good. Finally, enjoy the journey. Collecting is not only about money. It is about learning, history, and personal satisfaction. To conclude today's video, the Australia 20-cent coin from 1986 in very fine condition is a wonderful example of a modern collectible that combines strong national design, solid metal quality, and steady collector interest. It represents a positive and accessible way to participate in the world of coin collecting. While its current market value in dollars may remain modest, its historical role, beautiful platypus artwork, and connection to everyday Australian life make it a meaningful and enjoyable piece for any collection. Next up, today. I've written it to flow naturally as a spoken video narrative so you can connect with your audience. Imagine holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand, a 2009 Australian 20-cent coin that's been preserved in very fine condition. These coins might look small and familiar at first glance, but when you dig into their story, composition, collector appeal, and current market value, they reveal a world that excites coin lovers and collectors around the globe. Let's travel back to 2009 Ampere's year, when the Royal Australian Mint continued its proud tradition of producing beautiful, high-quality coins for everyday use and for collectors. The standard 20-cent coin from that year carries the familiar image of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the graceful platypus on the reverse, a design that has adorned this denomination since the 1960s. When we talk about history and condition, this coin tells a positive story. First struck for circulation, its mintage was millions, making it a common coin in everyday use. But for the attentive collector, a coin surviving in very fine condition in 2026 is a testament to careful preservation and a deeper appreciation for numismatics. Coins that have avoided heavy wear and tear over the years are always prized more highly than those found scratched and battered in loose change. One fascinating thing to note when discussing the shape, composition, and basic characteristics of this 2009 Australian 20-cent piece is its classical round form, a diameter of just under, and a composition of cupronickel, an alloy of copper and nickel chosen for durability and resistance to wear. This combination gives the coin its pleasant silvery color and ensures it can withstand the rigors of circulation while still looking good decades later when placed into a collection. Every detail, from its ribbed edge to the carefully struck designs, reflects the Royal Australian Mint's craftsmanship. Even though millions of these coins were minted, collector demand can still be significant, especially for coins in excellent condition. Worldwide collectors love spotting coins from different years and adding them to type collections. Some 2009 Australian 20 cents have also appeared in special mint sets or thematic series, like International Year issues, which elevate their appeal beyond everyday change. Now let's talk about what many people are most curious about: the current market value today in dollars. If you're just hoping to find loose change worth, most regular 2009 Australian 20-cent coins trade around about $1 or slightly above if they're in very fine or uncirculated condition. However, in the numismatic world, where certification matters, truly exceptional examples graded by reputable services are commanding far higher prices at auction. In fact, one 2009 Australian 20-cent coin in condition fetched over $1.40, 0 USD at auction. Keep in mind that prices can vary widely based on condition, grade, and whether the coin has been authenticated. Common circulated examples might be worth just a little more than face to a casual collector, while special certified coins can attract serious interest and higher bids from seasoned enthusiasts. This diversity means there's always something exciting about uncovering a coin like this and seeing where it fits in the market. If you're a budding collector or someone who has just stumbled upon a nice 2009 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition, here are some friendly tips to help you along your journey. First, always take the time to inspect your coin carefully. Look for any signs of unusual features or minting quality. Sometimes even slight differences can spark collector interest. Keep your coins clean and stored in protective holders or albums designed for coin collecting so they stay in the best possible shape. When you're curious about value, always compare sold listings from trusted auction sites, or reach out to experienced collectors and dealers rather than relying solely on asking prices. That's how you get a realistic picture of what a coin might bring in today's market. As you learn more and meet other collectors, you'll find that every coin has more to tell than just the 2009 Australian 20-cent coin in particular connects us to modern minting history, broad collector communities, and a global appreciation for coins that blend everyday life with the art and science of numismatics. In conclusion, the 2009 Australia 20-cent coin is a wonderful example of how even coins we once spent without a second thought can become cherished treasures. For enthusiasts, it's a coin that embodies craftsmanship, history, and fun. And if you've got one in very fine condition, you're holding more than just metal. You're holding a piece of living history that continues to delight collectors every day. Next up, today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of Australian numismatic history, the 1999 Australian 20-cent coin, and especially what makes some examples with rust-brown toning or unusual appearance so interesting to collectors and coin lovers alike. Weathered and brown, you might be curious about where they came from, what they're made of, and what they might be worth today. Well, by the time we're done, you'll have a complete picture of this coin's story. The 20-cent denomination in Australia goes all the way back to 1966, when Australia decimalized its currency and replaced the old 2 shilling, or florin, with this modern coin. The iconic platypus on the reverse was designed by Stuart Devlin, and it's been a beloved symbol of Australian wildlife on this coin ever since. In 1999, the coin featured the 4th portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley, a design that would be used from that year right through many later. From a shape and composition standpoint, this coin is circular and substantial in hand, with a diameter of about and a weight just over struck in a copper-nickel alloy, which gives it a silvery look that can age in interesting ways. The edge is reeded, giving it that familiar texture all around the rim. Now, over more than 20 years in circulation, some of these coins pick up unusual toning. You've likely seen photos or examples that look rust brown or creeping toward a coppery hue. This isn't actual rust, since the alloy doesn't contain iron. Rather, it's a form of patina, a surface oxidation or reaction with the environment that can change the color of the metal over time. It's part of what makes coins like these unique little time capsules. Some people love that look and keep them just for the charm, even when the coin isn't pristine. That brings us to collector demand and interest. Now, here's the straight truth. The 1999 Australian 20 cent is not one of the ultra-rare, multi-thousand-dollar coins out there. Millions were minted standard circulation, so it's very common in most collections. That means in average worn condition, most of these coins trade hands for close to there. Most listings on auction sites show them moving for around $1 or a few dollars when uncirculated, and even less when worn. That said, there is a market for coins in different conditions. A 1,999 Australian 20-cent coin straight from circulation that shows heavy wear, brown toning, scratches, or signs of use might still just be worth face value to most collectors. But if you find an example that's truly uncirculated with original luster, or even a proof or special set coin, those can fetch more, sometimes 5, 10, or even several times, depending on buyer interest. Proof examples from this year, struck with high detail for sets, have sold in specialist auctions and online listings for significantly more than common circulation. So what is this coin really worth in dollars today? On average, circulated 1,999 Australian 20-cent coins are valued just above, think, under $1, or a $1.30, zero of, at $1.75, $0 with slight premiums for nicer examples. Uncirculated pieces can bring a bit more. Proof examples, special coins struck to a higher standard, can bring anywhere from a couple of tens of dollars to even higher values among dedicated collectors. Remember, the exact price always depends on condition, presentation, and collector demand. Speaking of condition, that's one of the key tips every collector beginner or advanced should understand. Coins are evaluated by how well the details are preserved. Terms like uncirculated and proof refer to how much wear the coin has. A freshly struck, mirror-like proof or uncirculated example will almost always be worth more than one worn smooth by decades of pocket circulation. Browsing sold listings on reputable auction or collector sites gives a realistic picture of what coins like this actually fetch in the current market. Another helpful tip when collecting coins like this: keep them clean, but don't clean them with harsh chemicals. Cleaning a coin can sometimes reduce its value because collectors often prefer coins in natural condition, even if that condition is brown or toned. Buying a simple coin album or a set of flips or holders can help protect your coins and keep them in collectible shape over time. Also, get to know your coin reference books or online catalogs. Sites like Numista or dedicated Australian coin guides list mintage numbers, composition details, and even market trends. These are fantastic resources to help you learn what makes one coin more valuable than another. In conclusion, the 1,999 Australian 20-cent coin is a wonderful piece of everyday history. It's a coin we've all touched at some point, and for many, it holds sentimental and educational value. While most examples are common and worth around, there's always excitement in discovering a coin in exceptional condition or a proof example from a special set. Whether you're just starting your coin journey or are a seasoned collector, there's always something to appreciate about this little piece of Australian currency. Next up, today we're diving into something truly special for coin lovers, history buffs, and collectors around the world: the 1,980 Australian 20-cent coin, especially those in very fine condition. If you've ever wondered why this coin is talked about so much and what it's worth today in dollars, then you're in the right place. Let's explore the fascinating story behind this iconic piece, what makes it unique, and why collectors are still after it decades later. The story of the 1,980 Australian 20-cent coin begins with a period of growth and change in Australia's currency. Introduced in 1966 as part of Australia's conversion to decimal currency, the 20-cent coin quickly became one of the most commonly used denominations in everyday transactions. The design reflected Australia's national pride, featuring a platypus on the reverse side, an Australian native known for its uniqueness and the effigy of Queen. Now, when we talk about a 1,980 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition, we're talking about a coin that has stood the test of time gracefully. A very fine coin shows clear and identifiable details, but with moderate evidence of circulation. The key features, such as the platypus's shape, fur detail, and contours of the Queen's profile, remain sharp and distinct, yet there may be gentle wear on the high points. This kind of condition speaks to a coin that has lived a life, but has also been cared for and preserved a beautiful balance of history and longevity. What makes the 1980 Australian 20-cent coin especially interesting is not just its design, but what it was made from. This coin is composed of cupronickel, a durable alloy made from copper and nickel. Cupronickel gives the coin a lovely silvery hue that resists corrosion, helping it stay attractive even after decades of use. Coins like these were struck in large quantities, yet over time, many have been lost, worn down, or melted, making the remaining ones all the more cherished. The background, as collectors sometimes refer to coins that originally came in mint bags or bulk lots, emphasizes that while this was once a common piece of pocket change, it has transitioned into a collectible with a story. Its composition allowed it to circulate with grace, and now, coins that have survived in very fine condition tell a tale of endurance and appeal. Collectors around the world absolutely love the 1980 Australian 20-cent coin. Part of that demand comes from its iconic design, which embodies Australia's natural heritage and numismatic craftsmanship. Beyond aesthetics, the demand also stems from rarity in higher-grade conditions. While many of these coins were made, far fewer remain today in a very fine grade or better, especially as time and circulation took their toll. There's also a charming community of collectors who focus specifically on Australian decimal coins. For them, the 1980 20-cent piece is a must-have because it represents a turning point in coin production in Australia, both in terms of output and cultural significance. As interest in world coins and Australian numismatics grows, so does enthusiasm for coins like this one. That demand keeps the market vibrant and exciting for both long-time collectors and newcomers alike. Now let's talk about what everyone's curious about: value. As of today, a 1980 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition can sell for a notable premium over when offered in the collector's market: $1.40, $1.75, $0. While everyday circulated examples might trade close to their silver content or a modest collector price, coins graded very fine can fetch significantly more, often reaching into the range that reflects their desirability. Prices can fluctuate based on factors such as auction interest, collector popularity, and overall market demand. But right now, a very fine 1980 Australian 20-cent coin can often be valued at several times its original worth, making it a pleasant surprise for anyone who's stumbled upon one in their collection, change jar, or inherited stash. Remember, coins in even higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, can command higher prices as well, especially if they display strong detail, great eye appeal, and minimal wear. If you're thinking about collecting this coin or selling one you already own, there are a few great tips to keep in mind. First, always handle your coins carefully. Oils from your fingers can affect the surface over time, so gloves or clean hands are best. Second, consider having your coin assessed by a reputable grader if it appears to be in very fine or better condition. A professional opinion can make a big difference in knowing exactly what you have and what it might be worth. It's also wise to follow auction results and collector marketplaces to keep up with the latest prices. The coin world is dynamic, and values can change as trends shift and interest grows. Don't hesitate to connect with fellow collectors forums, clubs, and online groups are fantastic places to learn and share knowledge about treasures like the 1980 Australian 20-cent coin. So there you have it. The 1980 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is more than just a piece of metal. It's a little slice of history that carries with it stories of everyday life, national pride, and enduring appeal. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just discovering the world of coins, this piece proves that treasures can sometimes be hiding right under our noses. If you found this video helpful or exciting, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share with your fellow collectors, and subscribe for more videos just like this. Keep exploring, keep collecting, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.